I didn't have any sort of, like, I came from a small town in California. I live in Portland, Oregon now. I'm not a part of the mainstream of the art world in those kinds of ways. I'm not at the fancy parties or hanging out with Roberta Smith or anybody else. The closest I get is Jens, and he gets to hang out with all of us. But anyway, so yeah, you can make these things of your own, and you can eventually sort of be in those positions. And if you're lucky and you do good work, there is another problem. It's just that this world that you're talking about is a completely capitalist one, and the way that the Whitney Biennial runs is on recommendations from galleries of what artists need to be elevated, so that their prices can go up. And so that's that to me, that is the sort of bottom line. And I've always been very critical of that, and I got to experience it firsthand in 2004 when I was there as part of that biennial. And so I got to see sort of the insides of that. And that's been my critique. I've been very open with those curators, everybody that I've come across, that I think that is how it works. But that's also why I decided to not make that a major part of my practice. I'm not that interested in working with commercial galleries. I've done a little bit here and there. I'm not really doing anything now. I live in Portland. It's not a commercial place. And I'm doing other kinds of work, and it's totally possible to do that. So you can also just sort of ignore some of that and do your own thing. Not worry about it. Yeah, you're not worried about it, then it doesn't matter.
The question is it really so desirable to be part of that?
Yeah, it's not, that's the thing, it's not so great.
It's not even really about me. I would just say about all these artists I know who like to make a living doing their art and having that kind of, space.
There's a question?
Hi. I didn't even know what I was talking before. So I think this is really cool. And so I didn't have any preconceived idea of what you guys were going to talk about when you this difference from my time. And to me, it sounds like you're looking for like a naturalist, like just somebody who's like the natural ball player, the natural, like wow, they just shine on their own. They're not doing anything other than the joy of it. But and I think it sounds really interesting, like to see what would come together. I don't think it has to be like everybody that we all know in the room. And I think it's exciting as well, just to kind of take it to another level. And to like think about who you do know here in town that maybe isn't getting the recognition. And I know several people like that. One of my questions was, I guess I would just, take the form and things, but also that there might be, I believe, some artists that have passed away recently that never got the recognition that they should have gotten. And this is so exciting to take them to that level. There's so many, we find out about artists that, all of a sudden we go into their houses and, oh my God, I can't believe for 30 years we were creating this entire world. And you've got to be with their closest friends. And so maybe that would be more way to put it to people. So it's not like, we don't want you, we just, we want,
Don't want you. Did
I
you say that?
I love it. It's sure, but I don't expect that. So it's just like, maybe by calling it people's, maybe just say like you were saying, like not everybody shops at the natural food store, it's the natural food stores. It's like, it's just more organic, where it's coming from. So, anyway, that's all I want to say.
Take some pictures of your work and send it to me.
It sounds like you have someone in mind.
I do. Yeah.
It sort of sounds like what you look for is artists that don't have like your art world ambition, and like one of you mentioned purity, and I was just wondering if you could say more about like what makes that more pure not to have those ambitions, or.
I mean, it's a purity of a certain sort. It's like pure desire for art world success, but I don't know that that's the most interesting motivator for making work. And for me, I think the reason I'm often attracted to people who haven't gone to art school is because they haven't been sort of trained in that set of ulterior motives for the work, and they may have a different set of interests. Like today, one of the places that we just stopped by really randomly was this Lutheran church that's in Paradise, and looked at the banners that people had made, like felt banners, and they had a purpose. They had a motive for making it. It wasn't art at all. It was just like, hang this thing on a certain season, and they do them largely collaboratively, and there is an it's once again like one of these things where it actually has its full set of functions. Like the person has an impulse to make something, and they make it, and they share it with their, in that case, congregation, and there's satisfaction for that. And I like that. It's like I sort of went a little overboard last time, but I was sort of saying like how artists are sort of trained to be obsessive, compulsive, like crazy, like just making, without even, like their hope is that they're going to be put into a gallery museum situation, but 90% of it you can never do that. So it's this real strange thing to like be like working away on something that probably isn't going to happen. That's the reality for most people who are sort of pursuing that route. But if you look at this sort of periphery of people who are doing similar things, like making these banners, if they were told like, hey, you're going to make banners and there's only enough, like 5% chance we're ever going to show them, they probably would just stop making the banners because that would be the sensible thing to do. And it's like, and if they're told like, yeah, we need some banners for next Sunday, and they make some, and then they show them, and it's like it's complete, it's happening. And to me, that's like insane. And the other approach is sort of like, unfortunately, people have been sort of indoctrinated into the system that I actually think is sort of insane. That people are like being taught to do something that isn't really to their benefit or anybody else's. It's like in the end, you've got like a storage problem. Like, what am I going to do with all this stuff that I was hoping some curator was going to like discover me and it was going to be great? I just don't like those motives
I
that
think,
have
yeah,
been integrated into.
maybe irrationality is a better word than insane, but there are many people who go to art just to simply study art and to develop their skills as a painter or as a sculptor. I think that's completely fine. What I see when I teach a lot is, of course, also students who go with a really clear idea that they want to become a gallery artist, have a career with even a certain gallery already in the first year, or I want to be represented by Mark Fox in Los Angeles. What kind of work does he like, and that's the kind of work I'm going to do, and that's what I want. And this is the scene within the art world that I want to belong to. And as a teacher, you just, you go crazy when you meet people like that. So I think this idea of purity is just like, very romantic in a way that, yeah, maybe someone who doesn't do it for even showing it to other people, maybe someone who does the work just because they enjoy making work as, for various other motifs.
It seems nostalgic, like, I don't know, I recognize that I feel that way, but I'm not sure why.
Nostalgia is the future.
Look at the magic number of 5.
It's just random. It's just it's like a nice number that implies like many.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. ICI has given us a limit because of the shipping budget.
What is that also?
Sorry, Vito, secretary.
But we're not totally set on that. If for some reason we find 6 or 7 people who we really want to show it, then we'll do that.
What if they're like 5 giant manifestations?
Yeah, it's not as tight as it sounds. It was just like it's just sort of a structured process, and we'll definitely like make exceptions as needed. And that's part of the process. We probably should have said 5 to